This is the Halftime Oranges podcast, brought to you by Kegs and Dicky. Welcome to our first episode of 2024 Halftime Oranges. Kegs and Dicky boys have just settling back into life, I suppose, after a pretty much 2 weeks abroad, travelling away in London and then in Spain. I believe Dicky, you're still in Spain. How have you pulled up, buddy? How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I've come a long way in the last couple days, a week or so. Yep, still in Spain. Didn't want to go back and face the wonderful Netherlands just yet. So blue sky, sun's out, just outside of Valencia at the moment, and head home tomorrow. So thrilled to be going home, shall we say? But not too bad. I've recovered very well, shall we say? Yourself?
That's what you like to hear. Yeah, I'm still battling away. Tell you what, Spain took a bit of a toll on the body, toll on my health. Had to front up and play 80 minutes of code on Saturday. Got through it all right, actually. But yeah, just a bit under the weather. Probably just a bit run down. But we're getting there. We're slowly getting there. I'm back in the lovely grey skies of Ireland. Pretty cold here at the moment too. I believe it's actually been snowing in the Netherlands. So I bet you're looking forward to that tomorrow.
Yeah, I am. A few snowmen tomorrow, hopefully.
A few snowmen? Yeah. We're actually lucky. We don't really get any snow here. But it gets cold enough to snow, but it just doesn't snow, which is kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, right. How did your game of code go? I think I heard whispers that you may have lost some sort of final.
Yeah, so it's called the Bateman Cup, which I believe is so all the provinces you play off within your provinces. So your Ulster, Connacht, your Munster, and your Leinster. You all play off in your provinces, and then the top team out of each provinces plays like a semi-final against one of the other provinces. So we played Ballinhinch, who are based in Ulster, in the Ulster province. We played them, and that game it's kind of weird timings. Like we played them in September, so I wasn't even here for that game. And we beat them, and then Tirranure, I'm not actually sure who they played, but they're part of the Leinster province. They obviously won their semi-final. And then, so the final was on 6th of January. We had to make the trek up to Dublin. It was a tight game, actually. It was boys going tit for tat. We lost a couple of boys' injuries. And then, sort of game was in the balance. And then they scored a couple tries in the second half, sort of got away from us, and then we got one back, and it was 22-15. I got over the line, got held up, apparently. That was the ref decision. I firmly believe we got it down. That would have leveled up the game, not far up from the post, I think about 5 or 6 minutes to go. But, full time was 22-15. It's a good battle, though. It was a good game of code, I think. We had a lot of people just, even in Tirranure, spectators coming up and saying, that was a hell of a game of footy. So it must have been good watching. But yeah, tough loss. But I know the club hasn't won the Bateman since 1929, I think. So it would have been pretty cool to have won that. But yeah, on to the next, I guess.
Oh, well, the drought continues. So talk me through this try. It wasn't like one of these pick and go tries where it was clearly obvious that you're going to get held up and you've just gone to be the hero, or was it when it's close stupid, and you just when it's close and you're just like, you've got those idiots who you just know you have to score a clear cut try for it to be, and they just do these like stupid pick and go into heaps of people, and there's no chance you see the ball getting put down. It wasn't one of those ones, was it?
Nah, so we were about 5 out though, and got the ball from the 9, and I sort of just carried through a bit of a gap, and then had the ball on my right arm, guy on my left, sort of a guy on my right, and then I've gone down, and then as I've gone down, like So there's been another one or two players that sort of came flying in, sort of get around the ball, and the ref's got there real late, goes around the wrong side for starters, and then he comes back, and I'm like telling him to get the players to move out of the way so you can see the ball being grounded. And he calls it held up, and then I get up and like you can literally see like a little, like because the ground was pretty soft, you can just see like where the ball had been laying, like where the point of the ball had been laying, like just on like past the line. I'm like, mate, look at that, but like he wasn't having a bar of it. So yeah, that was a shame.
I'm a big fan of sort of annoys me when, like in club footy, there's no cameras and stuff. If the opposition scores a try and the ref's not there, I'm a big fan. I just just flop on it so you can't see the nut, and then everyone should be doing that in club footy because then the ref usually gets you late, and then they're too much of a pussy to call a try. So you've just got to do that. Be a bit of a grub about it.
And that's exactly what they did. So fair dinkum to them. Suck though. You feel like when you get held up now and it's a goal line dropout, I was like, fuck, in my head I was like, I might have just lost us the game there. Like, 5 minutes to go, but we're going to be back attacking on the 40 now. Like it sucks.
It sounds like you did. You did lose the game. So
thanks, bud. Thanks. Yeah, cheers, buddy.
That is what it is. It is what it is. Move on. Move on. Get better.
Yeah, indeed.
So we went to London. We went to London, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Before Spain. Just wanted to know what your thoughts on London was.
London was I don't know. I wasn't hugely excited to go there. I just heard mixed opinions, but it was actually cool. I enjoyed the little wee bit of sightseeing. I saw probably enough of what I need to see within one day. You see the London Eye, Big Ben, Westminster Abbey, very underwhelming. But I'll probably stay there for too long. I don't reckon you need more than like 3 days there, personally. It's just a bit too hectic, isn't it?
The tube's good though. We did like the tube, didn't we?
Yeah, tubes are great mode of transport, and they're handy, very handy. But other than that, it's just a lot going on. You can't really relax in London, can you?
No, you can't, and they're all quite ugly people, aren't they? English people. When you look at them,
I definitely agree with that.
Not being rude to the United Kingdom, but England in particular, quite abrasive, shall we say, looking folk most of the time. But nothing wrong with that. It's all genetics.
Each to their own, eh?
Had a couple of full English brickies there that were good. Bit of black pudding that I didn't touch on a couple of occasions, but
black pudding's actually good, bro.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried the black pudding? Oh, you have tried it.
Yeah. No,
what about
not for me?
What about the white pudding? Have you ever had the white pudding?
I've never even heard of the white pudding.
As far as I'm aware, it's just like the black one, but it's white. It tastes a bit different.
Right, that sort of, I guess it's in the name, isn't it? I presume it would be white if it's called a white pudding, but
yes.
Thanks for that. Thanks for clearing that up.
No worries, mate.
There's a fun fact actually for you. Do you know that the United Kingdom is the largest consumer of baked beans in the world?
No, I didn't know that, but that makes sense actually, especially when at the house that we're at, the old girl had a lot of baked beans tucked away in her cupboard. A lot of baked beans.
She would have had like 12 baked beans in the cupboard, eh? Yeah, she had quite a collection of beans in there.
Yeah. So that makes sense straight off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's just it's a fun fact I've learned. What else happened in London? London Eye, I think that's underwhelming. It moves quite slow for me. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
It seems like I don't know how long the whole experience is, but it seems like you'd be up there for a good 50 minutes looking at the same shit. I reckon after 10 you'd be like, well, pretty keen to get out now, but you've still got to go all the way around.
100%, I totally agree. But let's move that snail pace, that thing. You reckon you'd even be up there for more than an hour?
And we went to a museum. We went to a museum as well, didn't we? The War Museum of some sort.
Yeah, that was actually quite educational. I learned quite a lot there, actually. It's quite good.
We did go with a couple of friends, and we all got a sort of misjointed. We're going at different paces. Obviously, I don't know if you should say less intellectual people would move through those exhibits quicker than others. But I did run into George's sister Lily at one stage when I was trying to find you and Murph, and I'd only just completed the first level, and she said, "Yeah, I've lost everyone, but I saw Keegan. He had a panini and a coffee, and he'd had enough." So
No, that is
sort of
not
sums
true.
up
I've not had enough.
your ability to, well, how it
Hey,
seems. You
no,
had the coffee,
I'll
you had
tell
the
you what.
panini, you're ready to get out of there.
I'll tell you what it was, bud. It was I just done that much learning about the Great War that I just needed a wee smoker, a wee time out just to sit down, soak it all in. Wee coffee to pick me back up. I was hungry as anything, so I needed a little bit of tucker to get in me. So I had a wee salmon bagel, and then I was ready to rip into World War Two.
You ripped in pretty quickly because you and Murph were at the pub for a good 45 minutes before I got there. So obviously it was must have been quite skim over a lot of stuff, I imagine, and just get through, and the brains were done. The old boys with
either
the
that or
battle holder.
I think maybe you're extremely slow at reading, and maybe you like to read things 2 or 3 times to really understand it. I think that could have also
to
been
comprehend
the case.
it.
You just had to, you just really had to get it ticking over in your head, like, so that's what happened. Oh, that's what that means. Hence why it took you the extra hour or so.
Yeah, well, that's up for debate. And what we went to the for those of you who are outside of London, we went to the Redback, didn't we? That's a hot spot for any Kiwis coming over Christmas time. Kiwis and Australians, the Redback, wasn't it in London?
Yeah, it was actually a good wee spot. That was our Christmas night, our Christmas do, I guess.
We had a good day, didn't we? What did we have? We had a chicken for lunch, didn't we?
Yeah, roast chook.
Whereas I'm traditionally a ham sort of guy.
Yeah, if I'm back home, it's definitely ham and probably a lamb roast sort of operation.
Man.
But I guess when you're not at home, you've got to broaden your horizons a wee bit.
Got to adapt. Yeah, the Redback was our first. We had a couple incidents of Guinness providers not providing a good Guinness on our travels, didn't we? That was the first one with them not having Guinness glasses.
Well, I think the first one was probably went to a little place in Hammersmith, and it was just like the way they poured it. They just
they had the bubbles in it, didn't they? Didn't let it rest.
Yeah, bubbles on the top, and they haven't let it set at all before then pour in the last third or whatever.
That's right.
We had a lot of issues. I reckon when we were from our whole trip, there was only one place that poured it properly.
Was that the last night?
Yeah, it would have been, I think. Nah, not the last. It was one place in Spain. Nah, it was when me, you, and Murph went out on the first night, and then me and you went back there on the last night, but we didn't get Guinness that night. But that was the only place that poured it properly.
Yeah, Hammersmith, they poured it with bubbles. Redback, they poured it without a Guinness glass. And then we went to one place in Malaga that said they had a Guinness sign. We went in there to have a Guinness, and then they poured us a Guinness out of a can. That was an atrocity.
That was horrific, eh? You can't be claiming any
disgusting
part of being an Irish pub, Irish bar, and then pouring Guinness out of a bloody can.
Oh, that was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a shocker.
It was unbelievable. But then we moved on to Malaga. I'll tell you, me and Murph...
Before we go to Malaga, we actually went in London, we went to Winter Wonderland. Can you...
didn't we? It was good fun.
We went on a couple rides. It was good fun. Dicky picked out the first ride, and it was bloody doozy. For anyone that's been to Movie World in Aussie, and been on the Scooby Doo ride. Very Scooby Doo ride vibes. It was good fun, that one.
Was that that whole Winter Wonderland experience was an interesting one. I chose a ride, and it was said to be under thrill seekers on the website, and we got there lining up, and we got a lot of slack for it being a kids ride, and a lot of kids around. And then we went on it, and she was an absolute doozy. And before we got in there, someone in our group had decided to say, "Oh, these things just creep you out a little bit? Like they're not permanent roller coaster rides. They're literally made to be set up and brought down. So everything could be a bit loose, or there's the possibility you could fall apart because they're not maintained regularly." And then, geez, that was in the back of my mind for the rest of the evening.
I think that really.
But that ride was a beauty.
Actually.
Yeah, Murph did struggle. There is some footage of him. What was that one called? It was like a one that went upside down. Fuck, it went high.
Yeah,
we might be able to clip it.
Yeah,
put it alongside this. If we clip this and show how distressed he is looking up at it, he was genuinely physically upset. He didn't want to go on it at all. And then we went on that one, and then because there was only 4 seats per side of the ride, 3 of us went on one side, and Murph had to go by himself on the other side, and he was unimpressed. And then we've gone on like this little sort of, it would have been like a kid's one that goes up high, and Murph got on the line and said, had a look at it, and he said, "No, lads, I'm going to go sit by myself." We were in that line for probably 55 minutes. He would have been by himself, just
at least
chilling, not wanting to do it because he was too petrified.
I couldn't believe that. That was literally like the most teats ride out of all of them that we did. But I think it was just a height for him. He literally sat down, and like this. He said he went down, sat in a corner, and just sort of napped away for a good 20 minutes.
As you do.
That is George Murph into a T, isn't it?
It is. But yeah, it was good fun Winter one. A lot of signs for pickpocketers. Watch out for pickpocketers, but I didn't see any pickpocketers in my time in London. Almost starting to think it's a bit of a myth.
Yeah, I'm almost with you there. We say this now,
but I guess if you're a good,
we'll probably get pickpocketed.
I guess if you're a good pickpocketer, you're not really getting seen, are you?
Wow, that's also true. Yeah, probably makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and then we head to Malaga, and getting to the airport. For those who don't know, me and Murph flew out of Gatwick, and we were up in London in Hammersmith, and we had a flight at 10 to 7 in the morning, and we had to get a bus at 2:35 a.m. from where we were, get a bus to the train station, and then get a train to the airport, and then do that. And what a debacle that was, starting up early. So we caught the first bus, and then we had to connect another bus to the train station. We get off the first bus. Second bus is running late. Murph's starting to stress out a little bit. I can see him looking around. There's a few dodgy characters out in London at bloody 3:30 a.m. in the morning. We've caught an Uber to the train station, and then we've got the train to the airport. So we got there, and all was well and good. Murph had a bit of a dodgy moment going through security. He lost his expensive moisturiser, which he was heartbroken about. He got stopped, and they've had to do a wee test on it, and then it was too much millilitres, and it's been binned. He was in the gutter about that. And then I'll tell you what did happen was, those airports are so big, but they don't give you your boarding gate till half, or is it
an
like,
hour?
I swear it was like 20. It was like 20 minutes before our flight was supposed to board. They only put up the gate number. And I had to go to the loo, so I was in the toilet, and there was a bit of a queue to get into the toilet. So I was in there, and Murph's messaging me, "Mate, we need to go. And anyway, go to the toilet, do a speedy operation, get out. And then we're going to the gate, and we thought we had plenty of time. And then I checked my boarding pass on Apple Pay, and it was 6:03, and it said gate closes at 6:05, and we just thought it was we thought it was half an hour before the flight, which would have been 6:15, and we would have got there with plenty of time. And it was 6:03, and we were like, boom, boosted it. We just started running. Ran, and we got in this elevator, and we're in this elevator, like, trying to get it to go. And there's like, well, with all these old people who are going on a different flight, all like middle-aged people. Where are you boys going? Oh, we're going to Malaga. Like, oh, we're not going there. And we're like, oh, and they're like, what time's your gate close? Oh, I was like, I think it's closing now. And this fucking douchebag was like, yeah, it is. And then we're like, his wife wouldn't get out of the elevator doorway, so every time the door would come, it would reopen again. Oh God, I was like, get in, and then I was like, get out of the way, and then just the button to close it, and he's like, oh, you've missed it, boys. You've missed it. Don't worry about it. You've missed it. We were just both sitting there. Just fuck up. Doors open. We run there. We run to the gate, and it hadn't started boarding. So we sprint around this corner coming at full pace, like huffing and puffing. Everyone's just there looking at us, and we go, oh, bloody hell. But it hadn't even started boarding, so we got away with it. But it was a bit of excitement for our flight to Malaga in the morning anyway, on EasyJet.
EasyJet classic.
Oh, and then some fucking idiot, we get on the plane and we all boarded up, and then we were sitting there for like, it's been like 15 minutes, hadn't moved. We're like, what's going on? The guy comes over, afternoon or morning, everyone. We've had a passenger check their bag and be loaded onto the plane, and they've missed boarding. So we're going to have to unload all the bags, take their bag off, and then reload all the bags. And then they're like, so we'll do that, but unfortunately, we've missed our takeoff time, so we're going to have to wait for a new slot. So we had to we were just sitting on the runway for an hour 15 before we took off. Fuck, did my head in.
Yeah. Which then, that put you guys into a massive line
experience
in Malaga, in the security as well, didn't it?
Yeah, and customs.
Going through customs.
Yeah. Customs is always a interesting one, though, isn't it? You always get nervous for no reason.
Agreed.
Don't you reckon? Like, Murph said he went up to the guy and was like, "G'day, mate, how you going?" Guy didn't say a peep back, so I'm just checked his passport and waved him through. And then I went up and the guy, like, had to double check something, and then all of a sudden you go, shit, what have I done? You've obviously done nothing. And then you just start like, oh, am I getting in? And then you're through and you're like, oh, you beauty, away we go.
Yeah. You almost just go, and I've sort of realised like, there's no point in being all happy about it because they don't really give a fuck.
No,
unless they're happy and smiling
they
to
must
you, like you just got to give them the same sort of energy, I think.
Like a real fuck you energy.
Yeah. Well, they'll just be pissed off that you're on holiday probably, and they're just stabbing.
We did have this. Yeah, we did have one character who was in full Luton Town. Luton Town obviously plays in the Premier League. Full Luton Town tracksuit, and he was an older guy. Oh, not old, like middle aged. Looked like a bit like Lenny the Shark, so a little bit like Joey Gav. And we got to where you go to the lines for the passport, and they were massive, and he just started blowing up at someone in the airport, like, fuck this, not fucking killing. Next thing they know, the cops have come along. He was in the toilet, and they've taken him out of the toilets. Whether or not it's worked for him, but they've taken him through the lines, obviously off to question him somewhere else, so he skipped the whole lines. But he didn't have any bags, so it looked like he could have been doing something a little bit suspicious, but we'll never know. But that was a bit of excitement. It kept us busy in the wait.
Yeah, I bet. My airport experience was very similar, to be honest. I had to be up at the same time as you boys. I was flying out of Stansted to Malaga. But I was running off about, I'd say, probably about 4 hours sleep, because the night before in London, I actually went out, met up with a mate back home, who's now living in London. So should we just go out for a couple beers, mate? And he's like, yeah, sounds good. And I told Dicky, just come out, bro. We'll be in bed before midnight. Like, you don't get hungover if you call it quits before midnight. And I've got 2 messages sent to Murph. He's like, because I was obviously staying at his place, and he's like, I can leave a key out for you, or just give me a bell when you get in. It's like, yeah, don't worry, mate. I'll be home early. He's like, yeah, either one's sweet. And I was like, yeah, don't worry. I'll be home early, mate. I'll be home early. Well, it was early in the morning. I've had an absolute shocker. Probably one of the worst nights of my life, I reckon. Me and my friend Snork, we've gone to a couple pubs. Actually met up with Dobbo. good man, Dobbo and Tiff, good people.
Mm.
Met up with them, had a couple beers. Met up with some random Kiwi fella. We were actually drinking Spates in London. Tell you what, it tasted beautiful. Anyways, Snorks called it quits. It must have been maybe like 1:30. He was hooped, and I was like, fair dinkum, bro.
What
I'm just going to hang.
what pub was that for any Kiwis in London listening, so they can go have a
It
cold
was
Spates when they're there, if you can remember?
called Belush, I believe. Belush. It was sort of
Volusia.
in, yeah, Belush. It was sort of like in the sort of like central London, I guess. Belush, central London. If you go there, they have Spates. Questions and all. It was actually great stuff.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
But anyways, yeah, Snorks called it quits at probably like 1:30. I'm like, sweet mate. And then we've gone. So we're at another pub, and then they were short of closing. So me, Dobbo, and Tiff, and their friend have gone back to Belushi, which I've then seen the Kiwi fella again. And I believe Dobbo, memory's a little bit hazy, but I believe Dobbo said, "Oh, we're going to call it quits," and I was like, "Ah, sweet." And then the other guy was like, "Oh, we're going to go to this place. Jump in the Uber if you want." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." Jumped in the Uber. I then got to the place and kind of gone, you know what? I'm actually pretty keen to call it quits. I've had a decent night, pretty keen to go home. I said that to them, they're like, yeah, happy days. It must have been about 2:30. I've then walked like 5 minutes down the road, just trying to figure out where I am. I was in Piccadilly Square, and then my phone's gone flat on about 20%, unexpectedly. And that's when alarm bells have started ringing, because I have no idea how to get from where I am to where I need to get to, especially when the tubes aren't running, and that's been like your mode of transport for the last 4 or 5 days. That's sort of when I was starting to get a bit worried, and I was like, shit, what do I do? So I just started walking around. Had no idea what bus to get on. So I reckon I walked around for like 2 hours. Ended up in Chelsea, which is just not where I was supposed to be. I stopped in for a wee food break. I've jumped onto a bus, and my debit card doesn't have PayWave for some stupid reason. You can't PayWave with it. So I've tried to go on, and the guy's like, "Nah, it's not working." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "So you got to jump off." I was like, oh, "Sweet, mean." And then I've walked around for like another probably hour, and then I was like, "Fuck, I'm an idiot. I've got my NZ debit card on me. I can PayWave with that." So I just had to find another bus stop to get me to one of the two accommodations that I could stay at. And I was getting to the point where I'm like looking at bushes, like, fuck, that one will probably do for a couple of hours until sunrise. Like, that'll probably do me. It was getting that sort of desperate. I even found like a cardboard box on the ground, and I was like, fuck, I could sleep on top of this and some bushes just to keep me a wee bit dry. And then I found a bus stop, and I'm like, yeah, that's taking me to where I need to go. I've jumped on, hopped off the bus, like, oh yeah, I think I know where I am. Start running. I'm like, yeah, I know where I'm going. And I realised I just need to relax. Start walking again. Sure enough, I found where Dicky's staying. I've came up, and I'm fucking hammering the door. And obviously I can't send a message, and I like can hear noises inside. I'm just like, I yelled out, but you obviously didn't hear me. And then I'm hammering the door. Dicky comes up, he's like, what the fuck, mate? I'm like, oh, bro, you have no idea. Lets me in. I've been walking around for about 3 hours. I get in at about 10 to 6, I think. And yeah, it was one hell of a night. Don't even want to fucking reenact that one.
Yeah, and then from my point of view, 5:30 in the morning, you hear this aggressive banging. You're doing a house sit, you hear this like aggressive banging with no noise. You think you're potentially the person you're house sitting for is like some drug money or something's going on. Like it sounds like you're about to get the door's about to come down. Tentatively sort of wake up, sort of like what the fuck's going on. Then I remember just letting out like a oi, and then just sort of hearing, oh, bro. And I was like, oh, all right, there we go. It's okay, I'm safe. I'm not going to die. So, yeah, you did have an absolute shocker. There's no doubt about it. But, like, if you're home before 12, you don't get hungover, mates. There's no issues.
No issues. I probably walked off my hangover. I walked that much that night. I didn't really wake up too hungover. I just woke up really tired.
I don't think that's true because me and Murph went and visited a friend just out of London, and we only had one set of keys at Merce accommodation, and it had to be, you sort of need it to open the door, obviously, as they do, keys. And we thought, Keegs needs the keys in case he shot out. He went and got a haircut, so we left the keys with him, and we were out. And Keegs shoots us a message about 6:30. I'm just going to go to bed now, boys, but just shoot us a call when you need to get in, and I'll let you in. And we thought nothing of it at the time, thinking, yeah, righto. So we get home, but obviously if someone's only come home 6 a.m. that morning, they're going to be pretty knackered and probably be, keen on a deep sleep. We get there, and it's a shared apartment, so we can't really go banging on that door. Don't want to disrupt the other tenants. And we would have been out there for about 15, 20 minutes, just non-stop. Bang, calling Keegan on Messenger, ring it till it rings out, no answer. Bang, ring it again, ring it till it rings out. And it was getting to the point, there was scaffolding up the front of the apartment block. But me and Murph couldn't quite understand what level of the apartment we were. We're about to scale the scaffolding, but the risk was that we scale the scaffolding, knock on a window, and it's not our right level floor. But thankfully, after 20 minutes, you came and opened the door. So not your finest moment ever, I wouldn't say.
It was quite funny too, because I've heard the phone call. I've woken up. Oh, sweet! I'll go let the boys in, and I go downstairs and I just see them looking up at me like, "Well, it's about fucking time, you piece of shit." And here I am thinking, "How happy days, fellas! I've just woken up to the first call." I then checked my phone afterwards and realised there's been about 10 missed calls, non-stop, one after the other, and I was like, "Oh shit, sorry, fellas, sorry about that one." I was in deep sleep, boys.
Tempers were getting a little bit high on the street.
Yeah, understandably so.
Yeah.
So I apologise for that one. Like you said, not my finest moment.
You were only called names. You were only called names in the heat of the moment. They weren't called to your face, so it was forgotten about as soon as the door opened.
Behind my back, classic Declan move.
Yeah, that's right. Well, obviously then we were in Malaga for the New Year period. Got in there, and it wasn't that a treat, going into about 21 degrees.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
For about 3 or 4 days running. No one still really wears shorts over there. We were all in our shorts, singlets and stuff, like it was 45 degrees for them, but it was... Yeah.
People were in like jackets, coats, and boots. Like it's obviously a bit chilly for them, but for us it was a bit of paradise.
But Malaga was beautiful, wasn't it? We went to the we had a couple of tapas, didn't we? First day that we were there.
Yeah, we did.
A couple of sheer plates.
Nice retreat. Yeah, it was good. It was just me, you, and Murph that one. Cruise slow.
It was to kick throughout the night. That first night was an interesting one.
It was interesting, yeah.
I don't remember too much of it, so I can't really allude to too much. But lost a good pair of jeans that night.
Can you talk us through how that's actually happened? Do you know?
No, I can't, because I can't remember it. So you might have to do that for us.
Wow. So Dicky's grabbed something. This old fellow was just cleaning away. It's probably about 3:30 in the morning. Dicky's just grabbed something, throwing it, and the old boy's not happy. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was big or anything, but old boy wasn't happy about it, and he's jumped on the radio straight away. He's speaking Spanish. We don't understand anything he's saying. But this is Wheels and Fickin were with us at that point, and Wheels is gone. Oh, he's calling the cops. We've all just, oh shit, bolted. We're just bolted. We've hung a left, bolted up the street, and then we've just seen a cop car. Well, we're not going to carry on up there. So then we've hung a quick right, sprinted up, and it leads into a little alleyway, dead end. And there's a fence. Without hesitation, Dickie has just gone straight for the fence. He's jumped it. And he's just, his jeans have gotten hooked. Because it was they were like fucking steel bars, eh? Like we've gone to the fence.
They were steel, but I do remember that part. Yeah.
And
I do remember that part of it, and I got hooked. I remember getting hooked, and you guys being on the other side of the fence, and as I'm like slowly falling down, it's just slowly ripping up the side. They're only 2 days old as well. ripping up the side of them right to the bottom until I snipped and I hit the deck, and I was in this like reserve thing, and oh geez, I was a bit bloody rattled, a bit scared. I didn't know where I was, what I was doing.
Yeah, and I remember fucking just going, "Oh, boys, he's the only one that did anything. Why are we even worried?" So we've just walked off, left Dicky on the other side of the fence. Like, it's been that much of a pothole that night. At that point, we weren't even worried. Like, fuck, we'll just leave him. He can do whatever he wants. We'll see him when we see him again. We were well fed up. And then to me, Fick and Wheels have just wandered home and left Dicky on his own for an hour or so.
Yeah, and I was scared in this big park thing. I didn't know how to get out because it was all massive fenced off everywhere I walked. Kept hearing like sounds and like thinking there was like dingoes. I don't know. They don't even, obviously not in Spain, but like thinking there was like lions and shit coming after me. And then I've found a wee exit and walked my way home. But yeah, not.
What do you think tipped you over the edge?
Finest moment I've ever had.
What do you think really did to you? Was the white wine?
What do we do that? Well, yeah, it was the white wine. Yeah,
went to a place.
Tried to order. Yeah,
Dicky's gone to a place. Tried to order red.
Yeah,
and they've walked out with a bottle of white, and he's disgusted.
And
we tuck into it a wee
white's
bit.
Yeah. I thought we did the whole thing.
Well, I think we might have, to be honest. I remember you're almost going to vomit at the table, I think, and then somehow you've
I can't even
whacked a good bottle, a good glass of it.
Yeah, I can't even sniff white wine without having issues. So that would have been it. That's what bottled me completely.
Yeah, that turned your night upside down for sure. Murph had an interesting night that night, didn't he?
Yes, that was fun.
That was fun. Murph. Yeah. Murph was in all sorts.
He went home early, didn't he?
I think we've had to drop him home when Wheels got in at about 1:30. And we've tried to put him in the Uber and say to the Uber driver, like, just drop him off at this address, he'll be sweet. And the Uber driver's like, nah, no way. I'm not taking him on his own. So I've then had to jump in with him and then go let Wheels into the car and put Murph to bed. But he was in all sorts. He was sitting around, head down like this, like just leaning up against buildings, like basically falling asleep, standing up. Even when we got to the accommodation bar and I'm trying to unlock the doors, he's just at one point just leaning up against the wall, just like falling asleep. Jeez Louise, mate. Just pull it together for 5 minutes, would you?
Boy wanted a nap. It was an early start that morning. That would have been it.
Yeah.
Early start. He just needed a bit of shut-eye.
Well, he came out firing there. We were at the com just drinking a couple of vodka cokes. He was into it, and I was.
It's good to see, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. And then what day two we?
Well, actually, day one, to finish off day one, we've had a wee key situation.
Oh, yeah, that's
done
right.
By yours truly. Yeah, it was a debacle.
Yeah, so to explain to everyone, we were in a Airbnb and we had to go through 4 doors to get to our place. It was like in a complex and we had one set of keys, so we could only get in with the one set of keys or whatever. And I don't know what happened. How did I came in late by myself. Didn't you let me in or?
Nah, so the
doors were all open or something.
So we've left the doors slightly open all the way up to the last one, which I don't know why we didn't just leave that one open as well. But Ficken's come out and Ficken's pissed off at you. He's like, "Here, have the fucking keys." He said he's throwing the keys at you. You've then gone, unlocked the door, tried to push it open before taking the key out or trying to do it at the same time. And I've then woken up in the morning, seen the keys on the ground. One of the keys is bent 90 degrees. We're in trouble here.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
In my defence, you can still use a key that's 90 degrees bent. Although it was sort of cooked, William Treaders tried to use his brains and bend it back straight and snap the whole thing in half. So he should have taken some responsibility there.
But there's no way we could have used that key. Yeah. It was because it was like you'd pulled it out a touch and then bent it. There's no way we were going to actually be able to use that key.
anyway, I got snapped, didn't it? And we went out day 2. We went to the beach for the whole day. We had a few beers on the beach, and we went out for lunch initially. And like I was in need of some agua, some water, and we'd ordered a round of beers, and I was like not interested in the beers at all. And I was like, mate, can I have some water to the waiter? And the boys have all sort of jokingly said, nah, no water for him. And then the waiter's just gone to me, nah, no agua for you, and just walked off, and then didn't serve me any water for the rest of the time we were there.
That was man understood the assignment there. That was so good. It was so good.
That was funny. Bullshit. And then we went to the beach and parked up.
Went to the beach. That was probably one of the hottest days we were there, I reckon. Blue skies, good 2021. Boys went for a wee dip in the water. Cheap Coronas. Boys were drinking some cheap Coronas.
What were they, about $1.30 a pop or something?
Yeah, $1.80 I think. Still pretty good.
It was outstanding, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then we've gone back to the accommodation, obviously knowing we've got a key that doesn't work, hoping that it's somehow unlocked. Have walked up, it's locked. So I've then had to get in touch with our our guy that sort of let us in and be like, hey mate, we've had an accident. We accidentally broke a key. What's the deal? What can we get done? So we've just had to go park up at a couple local watering holes, couple pubs, have a few brews while we waited. So that was an interesting start of the night of day 2.
Yeah, it was.
We actually came back from the beach that day.
Yeah.
You and fucking were hooped. You and Fick were hooped to the point where I was like, boys, I'm going to go back to the accommodation. I'm going to go back by myself. These two definitely cannot come.
Yeah, we were having a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. That was actually a good night. I actually had to drop you home early that night, I believe.
Yeah, I did fall asleep or something. I don't know what happened to me that night. The
rest of the boys were well on form, apart from you, son. That was the night we actually went to the Irish pub that sold us Guinness out of a can.
With the popcorn. They had unlimited popcorn though, didn't they?
Yeah, it was like every time you got a drink, you got like a little punnet of popcorn. It was actually great stuff. And the boys with no popcorn into your Guinness.
Yeah, they just kept piling my Guinness. That was disgusting.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think the popcorn was spiked or something. That's what I put it down to.
Yeah, right. I think the rest of the boys agree that wasn't the case. It's just a lack of form again.
And then New Year's night, wasn't it? It was like half of fucking the United Kingdom. Like the first 2 nights, it wasn't that busy out in town, was it? Like you go in at any bar you wanted, and sort of it wasn't like dead, but like there was people about and stuff, and you could get in there and get a beer. And then New Year's night, we went out same time as every other 2 first nights, and we couldn't get a seat anywhere. Like it was absurd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then
it was actually fucking nuts.
Finally found a spot at a watering hole where old people were just hooking up next to each other in the booths and stuff, and we had a couple of Guinness while they were fucking getting real handsy with each other. That was interesting, to say the least.
They were full on hooking up for I reckon a good 3 minutes. Oh, they weren't.
Yeah, it was good.
Back.
And it was better because the boys had asked if we could have the booth. Like, are you guys leaving soon? And the guy had just gone, nah. Real rude, real abrasive, and then next thing you know, he's just tonguing this old lady next to him. Oh, that was
just for reference, they're probably like mid to late 50s, you reckon?
Yeah, they were. They were definitely getting up. They were getting up there.
Yeah,
getting right up there, in more areas than one.
Yeah, they were taking New Year's kisses to like another sort of level.
Yeah, well, 2 of the boys got New Year's kisses, didn't they? Shane and Wheels, they had a good couple of nice Czechoslovakian ladies that was good to see. They had a nice little peck under some fireworks and had a good evening. And then me and you and Murph sort of battled around. We didn't really know, and it's weird in Spain. I don't know if it's everywhere, but we wore the shorts out that night, shorts and Birks,
Yeah.
thinking we would be sweet. And we had been 2 nights before, and then apparently in Spain or Malaga at least, New Year's Eve, everyone dresses up in suits to get in places.
Yeah.
And we were well
Random,
underdressed,
wasn't it?
to say the least.
Yeah, that was real random.
To say the least.
We've gone well for starters.
Yeah.
Actually, Murph was a little bit hooped. We tried to get into I think 3 or 4 places. They wouldn't let him in. So we've made the executive decision to go home, drop him off, and we've dropped him
That's
off.
right.
He's sitting in the lounge, and the chair that he was in the lounge has a direct line of sight to the front door. All he has to do is turn his head and he'll be able to see the front door. I've snuck into the kitchen and I've messaged you like, hurry up, bro. Me and you want to go back out. And we've just snuck out. Murph could have just looked over his right shoulder, looked at us. We've just snuck out, and we've gotten about 2 minutes from the accom, and I've had at least one missed call from Murph and a message saying, "Where are you guys? Have you guys gone back out?" Yeah, and we've just
phone starts blowing up.
Yeah, and we've just ignored him completely. And yeah, that's when we've gone to one place because it's hard to find clubs in Malaga too. Like, you go to a couple of clubs, you have to pay door fees, and that's like €20. Then you go in, it's like, oh, this is teats. Went into one place one night, and it was like, have you got a booking? We're like, nah. They're like, no booking, no entry. I'm like, what the hell? And then yeah, we've gotten recommended to go to this place. I've gone there, and they're like, shorts, no entry, no entry. I'm like, all right.
yeah.
So then we've just wandered around, gone to another pub, and we've just had a couple tubes in there, and then sort of got a feed and called it a night, really. But
it's good news though. We did this few good laughs, and it was good to see the sun and hook in. It wasn't definitely wasn't R&V spec on the festy vibe, but it's definitely nice to just go to the beach and have a few cheap beers on the beach and in the sun and stuff. And as long as you got a decent crew, which we didn't, but we still managed to go all right.
Yeah, it was good. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, it's probably the first New Year's, I reckon, since I've been like 18 or whatever, that I haven't been to a festival. And it was definitely different, but it was still, it was good fun. It was good fun. Boys had a lot of fun.
It's different because festivals, everyone's going hammer and tong, whereas cities and towns and stuff, each group goes on their own different level at different times, and we were probably definitely setting the standard for the first 2 nights in the city, really, I think.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. I'm surprised we didn't cause too many more issues, to be honest. Or people, I'm surprised people
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, I've given up drinking following that trip. The 2024.
Rightfully so. Oh, that's a yarn, bud. 75 hard though.
Now I've started 4 days deep into 75 hard and going strong.
So can you
and I think I'll go good.
Can you explain what you're doing in the 75 hard?
Well, just from what I've read on Google, that's how I've interpreted it. So, drink 3 litres of water a day, which is easy to do.
Yeah, right.
Although, geez, I've been getting up fucking about 3 times during the night to go to the toilet. The body's not used to much water.
Yeah, that does suck.
Read 10 pages of a book a day, which I've been able to do so far.
Nice.
Supposed to do 2 workouts a day of about 40 to 45 minutes. One's supposed to be indoors, one's supposed to be outdoors, which I've sort of been ticking away while I'm in Spain. But I think when I get to the Netherlands, one of them will just be maybe an outdoor activity indoors because, can't really spend too much. Like I'll go for just go on the bike for 40 minutes at the gym sort of thing, if you know what I mean, instead of actually getting outside because it's pitch black for fucking most of the day. It's freezing as fuck. So,
and when it's about 1
that'll
degree,
be tough yakka.
It's not a lot of fun.
So that's that part. And then you're supposed to go on some sort of diet. So I've gone with avoiding as best I can having any processed food.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What sort of?
Well, processed to extent, if you know what I mean. Like obviously milk and cheese is processed, but I'll still eat those. But like, like chips and like pizzas and all that crap. That's just like
Yeah. Pretty much all your
That's
packaged foods, eh?
packaged food is probably a better way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. So I've sort of cut that out, and that's going all good.
Jeez, that could do wonders for the rig.
Well, the rig, yeah, could whether or not, yeah, whether or not it will, we'll find out. But I'm definitely, and I've got the mo going here, so the mo stays until I have my first alcoholic beverage, is my thinking. So
Right.
it's sort of like a public shaming of failure. So as soon as the mo's gone, the booze has been drunk, and it's like you fucking failed. But I've had that many people say to me when I said, "Oh, I'm going off the booze for a couple months." I've had that many people go to me, "Oh, fucking bullshit, you be able to do that." Sort of makes you think you may be drinking a little bit too often if people think you can't do it. So, in spite of that, I think I will stay off it until until March anyway.
Wow, March. It is a wee shift.
Is my goal. Yeah, that's my goal.
Fair dinkum. I've decided to do dry Jan. Haven't quite gone to the extent of what you're doing. I don't really think I need to do 75 hard.
Nah,
but I definitely do think I need to take a month off the booze. It's been pretty heavy since moving over here, and the New Year's, Christmas trip. That was big for that. So
yeah, I think
it was bloody nice waking up on Sunday, not hungover. Like I had to go into work at 9:30, but I've done that a few times, a little bit hung. Fuck, it was just so much easier, wasn't it? Just get up, shower, fill a hundy, into the office.
I think it took me a good what's it tonight today? I think it took me until about the night today. We left there. We stopped drinking woke up on the 1st. We weren't drinking. It probably took me about the 5th, 6th to be back to 100%.
Yeah.
So now I'm back. But I think once you get to, I think the Europeans, like we've got a bit of a drinking culture in New Zealand, but in New Zealand it was so much easier just to be like, nah, not tonight. And you just wouldn't. But I swear in Europe, it's like, because the weather's so grim, there's nothing to do. Everyone just gets on the piss every weekend, every time they get the opportunity.
Yeah, everyone just drinks.
It must be worse for me.
We're heavy binge drinkers back home. Like we won't drink during the week, and then we'll just have a huge one on Saturday. They seem to just go out. Like they just go out for like 5 or 6 pints every night, and then have a few more on Saturday. And then just go home. Even when we're in Spain, like I know it was New Year's period and stuff, but it'd be like we go to a place at like 11, and the first thing they look at us, beers. How many beers? And obviously we're gonna have a beer, but it's like you look around at everyone else too, and it's like 11, 10 in the morning. They're there with a beer or a wine or
Vino,
sangria or something, and I was like, fuck, everyone just loves it. Loves to just sip away on beers during the day, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's true. But so that's what's come out of that trip for me is a bit of a refresh, bit of a flush of the system.
Well done, bud. I'm happy for you, actually.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We'll see how it goes, but we can catch up. See how I'm trapping.
We'll be keeping a close eye on that moustache, that's for sure.
Yeah. That may will stay in contact, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've also
No, you go, bud. You go. Sorry, mate.
I was just going to say I've also deleted social media off my phone.
Wow.
Because my screen time was going through the roof, just scrolling through reels and stuff. So still got my accounts, Facebook and Instagram, but I don't have the apps on my phone. So I think I'll just check the old Instagram maybe once a week or something on the old lappy potentially, but I haven't done it yet since I deleted them on the 1st. So 9 days deep, no socials. Still got the snappy though.
Wow,
of course.
That's a huge call. Really enjoying a bit of time and debriefing, a little bit of time to yourself in Spain. Well, not just to yourself, but
Yeah. That's it. So, making movements in 2024. Bettering myself.
it really is. New year, new Dicky, eh? New year, new Dicky.
Train insane or remain the same. You know how it is.
Yeah, righto. You're not that guy, bro, but righto.
Great saying.
So you go back tomorrow. When do you get back into footy?
Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, we got
How the boys tracking,
our
actually?
last game of round one. We're tied for top of the table going into it's their last game of round one. So after round one, it goes top six, bottom six, and then you go home and away against everyone in the top six, and then it goes semis and finals. So, and you take through half your points from the first round. So, but the top six, the way our top six is, will probably only going through first compared to six. We might only be have 7 point advantage, but I mean, 1.5 wins going into top six is pretty good. So I think the goal will be to have a home semi-final, finish top 2 and top 6. I think should be the goal.
Kind of interesting that you guys did you have your last game of round one in the start of the new year, because you guys finished. When was your last game? Like first weekend of December or something?
Second weekend, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
So we had a good month off and then back into it, and then I don't know how the schedule works because we've got the draw, not who we're playing, but the dates, the weekends, and it goes like we'll go have a game this weekend, and then next weekend, and then we've got a weekend off. We've got 2 weekends off in March, 2 weekends off in April. No, 2 weekends off in Feb, 2 weekends off in March, 1 weekend off in April, and 1 weekend off in May. So it's 7 weeks off. So it just stretches the season right out an extra 2 months to end of May instead of just end of. It's kind of sort of a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I know we're kind of similar in a way. We've got a full because we had the game last weekend or the weekend just gone. We've got 3 off in Jan, and then we've got 2 off in Feb, and then I think we might even have 2 off in March, which I think is part of the Six Nations stuff going on. And then our sort of round robin finishes. Our round robin sort of finishes off in start April. Oh, plus St. Paddy's Day. We get St. Paddy's Day off. It's a weekend off.
So, real? That's not bad.
Yeah, so that'll be quite an experience over here. St. Paddy's Day in Ireland.
That'll be. Yeah, we were thinking about just flying over for the Sunday. Actually, a couple of us. It's obviously on a Sunday, so it's not on Sunday. Just flying over Sunday morning and then flying back either Sunday evening, which I doubt would happen, or Monday morning.
Well, that is in March, isn't it? You'd be allowed to have a couple of tubes then.
Yeah. The only hiccup I can see is happening is we've got the Crusaders versus Munster preseason game in Cork, start of February. It's the only real thing that's on my mind that could slip me up there, but I have to wait till I'm there. Hopefully I can hold off. Enjoy the game instead.
You're going with.
Don't need.
I know Murph is going to abuse you, and rightfully so, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Don't need
cops
booze
from
into
you.
this game. Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but no one said you have to drink.
So that's the
only
only.
Like after the game, After the game, have a couple of beers with the fellas.
That's true, but I did go through Europe with him for 10 days. We'd have a few beers and he'd leave me in town anyway at 11 p.m. So,
well, it was similar stuff in Malaga too.
Yeah, that's true.
Deck Chair Murphin. What a man.
Deck Chair Murph, yep. The both of us are the deck chairs.
Who do you think, actually, just going back to the Malaga, just before we probably finish things off, what do you think the MVP ladder was? Because you threw out a bit of the live odds before we started.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was good. Bloody good stuff, that actually. I think, yeah. Well, this is the thing. You've got people there who may not have had a shocker, but they haven't done anything. They haven't actually offered too much else. They've just been there.
Yeah, right.
So it's whether or not you take into impact that you've got someone that's had a shocker, but they've actually offered some content. You know what I mean? But
So
I'm not putting myself. Yeah, I am. I'm not putting myself in the top two. I definitely think probably a bronze. I would take it. I reckon I put the best performance on New Year's night. There's no doubt about that. I'll claim that. I was on form that night.
Yeah. I mean, I was right there with you.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I didn't say
it was a
you
good
weren't. I
performance.
just said I'd put myself in a bronze. I'll put myself in a bronze position.
Yeah.
I would put Murph in last. He'll blow up about that, but he'll be last. There's no doubt about 100%.
It. Well, you did actually win the. You guys were battling away for a wee shield, weren't you? And I believe it was one apiece going into the last night.
Yeah, we were. I think I retained it that night. Yeah, so that was lucky. It was lucky.
So you definitely hit him.
It was pretty much, yeah. So I'll put Murph last. I'll put myself third.
Yeah.
I would probably put I'll give you probably the honours just because you did carry the team there quite a wee way. Second and fourth though.
That's an interesting one.
I did like Ficken's intent, so I'd probably give Ficken 2, and Wheels is just Wheels. He would be fourth for me. Just the way he is.
I'd probably have it the exact same. Maybe the only difference is I might put you at the 4 and then put Wheels into 3. That might be.
Obviously, I've got a little bit of bias, being me, being myself.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So, yeah.
Fick was great. Fick was good value. I think if he had been there for all of the first night, he could have. Wow, and maybe not gone home early on the last night. Actually, he could have been in good contention for the number 1.
Yeah, that's probably fair play. But I mean, duty calls, I guess.
Yeah, duty calls. Duty calls, absolutely.
Duty calls at all times. At all times.
That was a good trip.
But that probably ticks it all off there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
I'm gonna head off, hire a bike for the afternoon. That's going to be my obviously my outdoor 45 session for the day, but it'll probably be a couple hours on the bike, having a bit of a go around, and then have a bit of dinner tonight, and then I'll be on the bus to the airport tomorrow, and then flying home. You beauty, back to the Dutchland, FTD. You beauty.
Back to reality, buddy. Back to reality.
Back into the grind. Yeah, no, I'll be right there. I'll be right.
Sure. Yeah.
It'll be beauty. But
too good though, fella.
All right. Sweet as, mate. I'll leave you to it.
We'll be back.
Sounding off.
Too good. See you, bud.
See you, mate.